and welcome to episode 71 of the Unwrapped Leader Podcast, where we get raw, real, and relevant in the new network marketing and helping you become a gifted leader in your business. My name is Teisha Dorianna from Canada.
And I'm Dracy Dewar from Australia.
And today's topic is all about networking beyond your comfort zone. I think when people start getting interested in building an organization and diving into the leadership aspect of this industry, many people have in their heads that people should just come to us if they're interested, right? And that's in terms of your products or your services or even your business if you're building an organization. But it's really just how you step outside your comfort zone that is what's going to lead to the huge growth and opportunities for you. Because at the end of the day, your network is your net worth. And so we wanted to discuss a few different ideas around networking and why getting out of the comfort zone is, it's going to you're going to feel some fear with it, but it's so important to do these things in order to build your business. If you're looking to build a substantial income here. And I actually have a coaching client that the other day she said to me, we're really working on recruiting. And one thing that she opened up about was, I just have this thought in my head that people are going to come to me if they're interested, but I realized that that's not the answer. And so we were discussing how do we have those conversations? How do we create those opportunities for ourselves? And so we wanted to dive a little bit deeper in answering that, because I think a lot of people have those thoughts. So Dracy, I'll put it on to you first, just to talk a little bit more about expanding your network.
Well, thank you. And it's great to do a podcast with you, Teisha. I think we probably went almost a month after over a year of every week doing a podcast together. But I enjoyed it. It was fun. And you did some really great solos there. I actually enjoyed them. I got to have a chance to listen to them. So great work. And it's just really great to see that this is just part of who we are now. This is us going beyond our comfort zone, doing a podcast. We're network marketers, and we started at the very beginning of expanding our network in the actual industry. And for us to keep growing, we decided to expand ourselves by showing up online more on social media and starting a podcast. So I think it's really relevant to what we're doing, because that's kind of where we had to go beyond. And I wanted to say, we were talking about that feel the fear. They say, feel the fear and do it anyway, and fear is a false reality of what we put in our head as well. So let's talk about that. The first two letters in the word beyond is B. And so we have to really come together and really think about who we want to be when we step into this industry and why we actually said yes. And so I think the first thing we get started is, we think about ourselves and who we're going to talk to and how do we expand our network. Well, the big thing, as we say, it's so important to get outside of your own inner circle. But I wanted to just talk about the importance of our inner circle when we do get started. Do you know our inner circle, our family, our friends, why it's so important to reach out and to talk to them and tell them what you're doing? They're your practice ground. They're where you start off so you can learn the language and the lingo about what you're doing. And that's why it's so important to sit with your upline and talk about what kind of person you want to be. Why is it that you're doing this? What is relevant? And that comes to those three I's. What is your intentions? What kind of impact do you want to make? And what kind of image do you want to create? And so if you have a chance to think of those three things, this is when you have a chance to start practicing within your inner circle. And so whether it is online and offline, the bottom line is that inner circle is your practice platform. But the goal is to get outside of that circle, because one, we do not want to exhaust them, but they want to cheer you on. They want to support you. But in saying that, you want to make it really clear to them that you are working with them if they could help you get the practice and the opportunity to expand into your business. And I think if you make that agreement with them, it becomes less overwhelming to think you need them to buy, you need them to succeed in your business. What you need them for is your practice. And when you change that mentality, whether they buy or not, it doesn't matter. What matters is you had the chance to get a little bit more comfortable with learning more about your products and learning more about your company, because that is your number one goal when you get started, is just to learn a little bit more. What people fail to do is they think they got to know it all before they start talking to their family and friends. And that is definitely what you don't want to do. You want to utilize and use them for the purpose of that practice. So that's first step. Number two is, how do you get out of that circle? Because the importance of expanding outside of your circle is so you can meet new people, so you have the opportunity to really grow your business. And so that's why it's great when you just practice within your family and friends, and you have, I say, a launch event, whether it's online or offline, is you're getting your family and friends to invite people. That's the number one step, how you can actually expand your circle, is getting them to help you by recommending and inviting other guests, and why it's so important to have an event so you can do that. And in those events, why it's important to have that, whether, again, I'm going to just say online, offline, I'm a huge in-person event person, but I think it works both ways. If you, again, work through what your essence is, and you hear me say this all the time, what kind of experience do you want them to have, what environment you're going to create for them, and what energy you're going to bring to the table. And one thing about newbies, the energy they have is how excited they are about something new. And that's the most important thing. The rest doesn't matter. This is how you're going to get comfortable, is by just, I would rather be with somebody that was enthusiasm on fire than knowledge on ice. So have fun being a newbie, but really look at how you can expand your circle by getting your family and friends to expand on that. I think that's the big one. And my personal, when I very first got started in the industry, clearly it was my family and friends and getting them in there. But my goal was to get out of that circle, because when I get outside the circle and I have success outside the circle, my family and friends benefited by the huge discounts I could give them, if not all the freebies I got. Who do you think I gifted them to? It was my family and friends that were there to support me. And so that was the good trade-off, by them helping me launchpad my business. They ended up being a very big part of the benefits of me doing really well in the business. And so that's how I used my getting started, and why it was important to get outside my circle. So that's probably the first part I'd start off with, Teisha, with regards to stepping outside your comfort zone, and how you can really use your getting started to your benefit, and become a new network marketer that is courageous.
And I actually saw a stat today that read, did you know over 70% of people make purchases based on referrals? So 70% from
That's
referrals.
Massive.
Exactly. And so that just
goes. Why I said it. Yeah, I'm sorry. No, and that's why I was saying, that's why when you have these events and you create so much fun and enthusiasm, people are more likely to buy from you or recommend you. And let's just get the facts here. The facts are, number one, is why do we have an event? The fun, the free product, the food, and the friendship. If you keep those 4 F's when you hold an event, people are going to remember it, and they are going to recommend and send people your way.
Mm-hmm. And also, I want to be clear, because there's party plan business, but when we talk about events, you can still have events in a more affiliate marketing style business. There's so many different models out there, but we are going to get into a little bit more on offline and online events in a second here. But yeah, events are, like Dracy said, the essence of your business. So it's so important to be doing those. But when we start expanding outside of just our warm network and stepping outside our comfort zone, a lot of times people actually don't do it, or they kind of do it, but more on a very surface level basis. People are faced with, fear and self-doubt in these situations. So I kind of wanted to cover that quickly before we actually get into the events part. And so there's a lot of fears that prevent people from just networking beyond their comfort zone. The fear of rejection, the fear of failure, the fear of feeling pushy and annoying and icky and gross. And what I want to say on that is, when I got started in the industry, like probably so many people, one of my biggest hesitations and concerns was that I don't want to be that one that is going to be pushing people. And I don't want to feel gross with myself. And so I vowed to myself when I started this that I would not be that person. And I remember the one thing that Dracy, you actually told me was, if you have that fear and you know in your head that you would never want to do that, or you would never want other people to think that way of you, you are never going to come across that way, because that's just not in you. That's not in your heart to be pushy and feel like you're annoying people. And you'll never be that way if you have that mindset that I just want to help people, like I don't actually want to push people. So that was one thing that really sat with me. It was like a core memory when I started, something that you said to me. But you know what, like rejection, failure, those are two things that are going to be a huge part of your success. We all experience it, and it's not something to feel disappointed in. It's something to take and use as an opportunity and a lesson. But it is one thing that holds a lot of people back. So I think we need to acknowledge here that the rejection that you're going to get, the failure that you're going to feel, it's a part of networking. It's a part of growth. But at the end of the day, it's important to know it's not a reflection of you. It's a reflection of them. If they are rejecting your offer, or if you feel that you failed, it's not a reflection of you. Like, someone saying no is them saying no to themselves. They're not saying no to you as a person. Like, you could still go on and have a friendship. Just because someone didn't want to buy your shampoo, it doesn't mean that, it's friends off. I think a lot of people associate like, a no for a product is also a no to being my friend, which it's like, they don't have a correlation and they don't have to, right? But people kind of associate those two things. So we have to learn how to turn those setbacks into opportunities, because you can't control your feelings, right? So you're feeling like, oh, I just failed, I just blew it. You can't control that. But what you can control is the actions that you take moving forward. So, feel sad, feel disappointed, reflect on it and see, is there something I could have done better? But sometimes there's just not, right? Like, you could have the best product in the world, but if you are talking about it to the wrong person, it's never going to be for that person, right? Like, this is maybe a silly example, but like, you can do everything you want to try and sell me the best oatmeal raisin cookie on the planet. I will never buy the oatmeal raisin cookie because I don't like raisins. Like, it does. And that don't even take, like, that person can't even take that offensively. I just don't like raisins, and I'm never going to like raisins. But that's kind of what I'm saying is, like, you can have the best opportunity, you could have the best product, but for the wrong person, it's just not going to hit. But if you have the right person, then it's going to go through. And so that's why it's important to continue expanding, to continue talking to people, because it is going to help that one person that needs it, that one person that wants it. So I always love to say, if you want something that you've never had, you have to do something that you've never done. And this implies to so much in life. It implies to getting healthy and working out, right? Like, if you are like, I just want to, like, if you want to look different physically, like in terms of your health and whatever it is, you want to lose weight, you want to gain weight, like, you can't continue living the same life and expect different results. You need to change something. So if you've never had a downline or a team, or maybe you have, but they've never been successful, or, producing volume or whatever it is, you need to change something. Something needs to change in the process that you're currently doing. And it doesn't mean what you're doing is wrong, but maybe you need to add something that is going to take it next level. And so that is a really good segue into our next section, which is talking about these events. So I'm going to put it on Dracy to tell you guys a little bit more about events.
Thanks. Thank you. I love it. And I was just thinking and reflecting when you said about what I had said to you. If you're not a pushy person by nature, you're never going to come across pushy. And the only person you need to push is yourself. And I love the acronym of PUSH, PUSH. It's push until something happens. And so, again, just push yourself to greatness, and you'll have a lot of fun in there. And again, what if they said yes? That's the thing. What if? stop being focused on them saying no, focused on what if they said yes. And if they did say no, is that no for now or no forever? And a good one is too, when you set up with your friends, always open up the conversation with, we're friends first. So whether you say yes or no, it doesn't matter, but I want to be able to share this with you because it's part of who I am. It's what I'm doing. And I'm really practicing, and I value your opinion. However you want to position it, it's all about setting it up as well. So I hope that's really helpful in being able to feel the fear and do it anyway. So this is where I'm going to come up to, how do you go out and expand outside your network and meet new people? And again, a really big one is, depending on what stage you are in your life, it's going to make a difference. So I can't tell you right now to go to sign up for a weekend meditation conference or something like that, because that might not be the stage you are in your life, but that's the stage I am in my life right now. And by going and doing that, I'm meeting new people. Teisha, you're at the stage of your life, you want to show up at the gym every day. You're showing up somewhere where you're meeting new people. When I was a young mom, going to taking my kids to school, and whatever my kids' school sports were, or whatever activities were going on at the school, or any kind of fundraisers or community events, I was just a part of that. So that was always putting me outside of my circle to constantly be meeting new people. So you get the point of how important this is. Your community has networking events, business networking events. Go and be a part of something like that. Go and look at these next 3 months. What time do I have? Is it something once a week, something once a month? Or maybe I just have one weekend out of these next 3 months. Go and book yourself to go and do something that's relevant to you, your passions, your leveling up, your growth, and go and meet new people. And remember, all you need to do to meet these new people, to me, I think it's far easier now to meet new people than it was back in the day, because back in the day, we had to exchange phone numbers. And clearly you had to get really good at opening up conversation, which is what you want to get good at right now. Have good conversation starters, learn to be interested in other people. But what's easier nowadays than ever before, you don't have to exchange phone numbers. You just get to follow one another on your social media, whether it's Instagram or Facebook, and you get to follow them. But this is where your goal is to have what we call a lollipop moment. Look for the sweet moments within the conversation, within the actual event. Record that. Make a mental note of whatever the sweet moments were of that day. So when you do connect and you say how nice it was to have met them, you're talking about the sweet moment, whether it was something in the conversation or something about the event. Remember, those lollipop moments is what's going to make your business, your relationship super sweet, so this business can grow. And so for me, you want to expand your circle, get out there and start meeting new people. And that's my presence of going and meeting people on the everyday networking. We know that's a huge platform. You need to be out there, because the second one is going out there, meeting people online. And Teisha, you're going to share a little bit more tips and ideas of why it's important online. That's why when I say, when you go and meet people and you be able to exchange following them or just following them, that's why it's important for you to have a really good profile, really good photo, a good bio, and people know who you are, what you do, and how you serve. So Teisha, take it away.
Yeah, absolutely. And this just reminded me of a memory actually from my very first year of university, which I didn't have a network marketing business at the time. But I remember thinking to myself, like, in general, I was a pretty shy person. Like I was friendly and I would get along with people easily, but to make the first move was really hard for me. And even though it wasn't anything to do with business, I remember thinking, I need to meet people. I was staying in dorms in my first year. And so I thought of something that I really like to do, which was watch a show called Big Brother. I loved it. And I actually went, so I had my door knocking era, but it wasn't business related. Well, it was kind of business related because I was recruiting people to come watch this show with me. And so I went and knocked on doors and just introduced myself. I told them I'm in this dorm over here. I'm just, looking to meet people. Like, what's your name? And that's what I did. And it was like the scariest thing for me to do. But basically my like conversation opener was like, do you watch Big Brother? Like, that's what I asked, and it felt weird, but I actually found this huge group of people who watched, and every single week, because I think the show played like more than one time a week, we would all meet in this theater room and we would all watch together. And there was like a group of 10 of us, and that was, I guess, when I recruited my first team. It had nothing to do with network marketing business, but like, it just reminded me of that. So it doesn't have, like, at the end of the day, these are all people that I've made connections with that I still talk to today, right? People that I have done business with too. And I didn't even have a business at the time, but I nurtured those relationships. So
I bet now, though, I bet now some of those people have bought from you since.
Yeah,
Over
yeah,
time.
like they've become customers, even though I didn't even have a business at the time, because I connected with them and I nurtured those relationships because I genuinely liked them and we bonded over something that I loved and they loved as well. So
And
it's
so
pretty
your
cool.
network has become your net worth.
There you go. Yeah, exactly.
And over time, you've now been in 2 different companies, and those people have, some of them have followed you no matter where you've gone.
Yeah, exactly. So just everyday life, just think of the things you're passionate about. Like I love sports. I play in a volleyball league, which I haven't played in a city volleyball league forever, but I decided to this year, made some new friends in it, which is great. And then also a soccer league. So I do a lot of sports. I go to the gym, and even though, the gym is for personal reasons, like I still meet so many people. Like there's still a social aspect to everything. And I've met some really awesome people from it. So now, when it comes to leveraging social media and just your online platforms, guys, the power of online networking is huge, more than ever today, especially in a network marketing business. And so, the roles of platforms such as Instagram and Facebook and network marketing, I like to say Instagram is a great platform for networking and connecting with people. It's so easy to find your ideal client just through hashtags, through locations, through accounts. You could type in keywords and find people that are looking for your type of product or service or looking for your kind of business opportunity. And that's where I meet a lot of new people. I get new customers from there. And then as per Facebook, you could actually, network in there as well through Facebook groups. But what Facebook is really great for is creating community. And that's where I'm nurturing relationships, connecting with people. And a lot of people that I actually network and meet with on Instagram, I drive them into my Facebook community, somewhere where I can share the things that I love, whether that be business, health, and wellness. I kind of talk about a little bit of everything that represents me. And so people start to get to know the real me. That's when people build that like, know, and trust factor. So as Dracy said, optimizing your online presence, having that like good first impression when people actually see you, like think of it as like a digital business card, right? That's what we do when we meet people. It's like, hey, do you got Instagram? Do you got Facebook? I could add you. We can continue on this conversation, or, whatever it's going to be. Like you want to make sure that you're, not just have a clear, good bio, but also you're posting on a regular basis, right? People know that you're active, whether that be in your business or whatever else that you do in your life. You're also engaging. If you want people to engage in your stuff, if you want people to like and comment on your posts, you should be liking and commenting on other people's posts too. And that's also going to boost your algorithm. So make sure you're responding to stories. You make sure you're creating conversations with people, and also responding to comments, right? One thing that I heard that stuck with me, I don't remember who exactly said it, but someone I follow in the space was saying, if someone comments on your post, whether it be a compliment or they're just saying hello, you need to reply to that. It's like going in the street and someone waving at you and then you just ignoring them and not waving back. That's what it's like when you don't respond, right? Because it's on social media. So rather than just like it, right? Like if someone said hello and you just give them a thumbs up, like, it's kind of rude. So you should respond. Don't just like things, to actually just create that conversation. And then also collaborating. This is a big one. How can, you and someone new that you meet, how can you guys benefit from each other, learn a bit more about them, figure out a way to collaborate? Maybe that is going to be, an Instagram live to talk about something you have in common. Maybe it's going to be, just an event that you attend together, like whatever it is, find ways to collaborate with people, because then you could share audiences. Maybe you can benefit some people in their audience and vice versa, right? So one thing I want to talk about too, it's a little bit controversial because I think people have mixed feelings on it. And I would actually love to hear in the comments, if you're listening to this, what your feelings are in it. But some people say that if you're in a network marketing company, you should not be like putting it out in the public, like what company you're with. Like you need to, again, create curiosity, which I agree with. But some people are totally against putting company stuff out there so that people know exactly what company you're in. So my opinion on this is that like you should be proud of your company and you should make it known that you are working with a company. And I'll give you guys an example here. So there's someone that I really look up to and follow. And she is in kind of like the coaching space in this industry. And I had no idea that she was actively involved in a network marketing company. But I think that when I found out, which was like years later, like 5 years after I started following her, I was like, oh my gosh, like to me, that was like super important information. And it's like, I would have loved to know that, right? Because that might have been someone I considered, right, in terms of like a leader or an upline or whatever that might be. But I just think like, wow, there was so much missed opportunity there for her, because she could have been growing that passive income just by letting people know, like, this is what I do. And so for me, the thought is, are you proud of what you do? I'm not saying you should be a walking billboard, by the way. I'm like against that in terms of like your whole profile shouldn't just look like a storefront for a company. I think I get it. You want to brand yourself. You want people to know you as you. But I also think people should go on your profile and they should know right away what you do. So that's my thoughts on that.
I agree.
I was like, I think she wants to say something.
No, but I just was agreeing. And I just want to say, that's why we talk about having subtle seeds. This is where you plant seeds about what you do. And because when you plant subtle seeds and you're watering it, that's what's going to grow. And, you share your passions, the things you're proud of. And if your company you're working with you're doing it because you're passionate about it, that's part of who you are. So yeah, I think it's good.
Anyways, that's pretty much what I wanted to say in that section, though, is like, build relationships, not just contacts, because relationships are what leads to the like, no trust factor. It leads to referrals down the road. Again, over 70% of people purchase something through a referral. Remember that. And then you want to nurture and maintain those relationships too, right? Check in on people on a genuine level. Don't just have a transactional conversation every time you're messaging them. Create genuine connections with people based on interests that you actually like and enjoy outside of your business. So
fantastic. And Teisha, as we opened up and we talked about the image, your intentions, as well as the impact that you want to make. So we all know we're doing, we have good intentions. Everybody's got good intentions. But with good intentions comes responsibility, and your responsibility is to make an impact. Go and help make a difference in this industry with your company, by yourself personally. And I talked about the 5 things that make an impact. Number 1 is your kindness. Having an attitude of gratitude, having a good attitude, being open, and also having the daily discipline. So the discipline of you is being able to go outside your comfort zone. And so networking beyond your comfort zone is a pivotal part in your networking success. So embrace the challenges, see them as opportunities, because they lay way beyond your comfort zone. That comfort zone, as I've always said, is going into a hot tub, what a hot tub feels like. When you first go in, it's freaking hot and you jump out. Like you put your toe in, it's like, oh no, that's way too hot for me. And then so you have to kind of ease your way in. And so that's like putting that big toe in, and all of a sudden you're putting your foot in, and all of a sudden you're completely immersed into it. And when you immerse into a hot tub, we know how freaking amazing that actually is. So I tell you, dip your toe in, push yourself beyond your comfort zone so you can grow this business. And so that's why we put together our social media MVP program, is to help people set up that profile so they look more professional. They can give themselves an image that represents them, their passions, and the things they love to talk about. Also giving them the tools. I believe in that program we put together, we got 12 actual modules that help with creating really good social media reels, as well as having a fantastic bio, really helping you with highlights that tell people how you help them and how you serve. We've even put a social media reference book together to understand the terms. We even created an engagement networking scripts in there, as well as an actual advanced social media work guide. So that's what we've put in there, just again to help people show up a little more professional and more brave in their business. And they'll even get a free Unwrap Your Brand Masterclass. So just go to our website, the free Unwrap Your Brand Masterclass there, check out the social media program so you can show up online, like I said, well beyond your comfort zone, and share the presence that you have, because you're an absolute gift in the business. So if you've liked this, please like it, comment any of the nuggets, especially Teisha, what she had to say. If you have an opinion on whether you should should share about your company or not. And if you are listening on a podcast, we'd love a 5-star review. And again, don't forget to subscribe so you can be in tune with more of what Teisha and I are doing. Thanks and have a great day.
Bye, guys.